get back to the show. Let's get to the show. Welcome to the Wilderness Podcast. Let me get my graphics showing for us tonight. Let me get my graphics tuned up real good so that we solid. Let me get the graphics tuned up on YouTube. All right. Show tonight. Of course, the show tonight is called The Cost of Being. No, I'm sorry. It's The Cost of Believing show. It's mindset, but it's the cost. There is a cost of believing. Before we get started, we have a good little interlude. I got my baby on here with me tonight. We're gonna share that song. Come on now. Where you at?
Jeep.
Oh, and Jeep. Come on, wait. Where you at? Come on, show. Oh yeah. Show them too. Show them too. Show Jeep. Show Jeep and put you show this thing. Hey boy. Yeah, boy. Hey boy. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. You gonna play the song, Schnooks?
Yes, this is an ugly song. It's not ugly. It is not. We're not
all right. All right, here we go.
Daddy, you don't like this song. Daddy, stop it.
I don't like it.
It's ugly. Ew. Ew. This is a bad song. No. This is a bad song.
Turn it off. I can't take it. Okay, that's enough. That's the joke. Oh my gosh. All right, that's enough. Oh my gosh. She tortures me with this. This is torture. This is torture. This is what I get tortured by. Oh my God. Okay. That's the interlude for tonight. Okay, I can't take it. All right, let's go. All right. I love you, baby. But you, okay, all right. Jeep, peace. Give me some. I love you. Funny. She funny. Go ahead, get boy. All right, love you, Snook. Give me another. All right. You know, the girl goes. All right, that's enough. Oh my, bye, women low. Oh my gosh, she's so silly. Oh, I owed her that torturous moment. Yeah, anyway, she's hilarious. Women low. Oh, anyway. Oh, it's crazy song. Anyway. All right. So let's get to the show tonight. The Cost of Believing show. What does it cost to believe? Oh, it costs a ton. And we're going to get to some whip moments right now because we had a very big, large interlude. But there's a lot of things going on in the world today because of what people believe in, how they believe, and what they even associate with what belief is. Some people even believe that the map, the globe, they don't understand what if I mentioned the firmament? You know, things like that. Things that will actually help you understand how life is not what you think it is. Living is even more perplexed than what you think it is. And I promise you, the more we learn, the more we understand how much we don't know. So that's what keeps us humble. But at the end of the day, that should never prevent you from learning. Learning is a vast priority that we should always put in front of any and everything when we wake up in the morning. You got to think about your repetition. How you prepare yourself for your day? You prepare with learning how to do things a better way. If that's not the first thing on your mind, you're living wrong, man. I'm trying to tell you. Understand. See, first of all, we got to get into this. Signs and symbols, ladies and gentlemen. But first, let's get to the first whoop moment. Let's get to the first whoop moment first. First whoop moment is due to the fact that the cost of being believing. First whoop moment is the gift of a lie that you defend. The gift of a lie that you defend. Think about that. The gift of a lie that you absolutely defend. And you have the signs and symbols to remind your ass about how you allow these things to just control your subconscious in a sense. So let's get to these signs and symbols, the complete encyclopedia of signs and symbols. Did you even know that there was even an encyclopedia of signs and symbols? I'm going to break some things down to you, ladies and gentlemen. We got to learn tonight. We're going to learn some new things tonight. Absolutely, we got to do so. We have to live our lives in the arts and factuals of learning, even with the dictionary of signs and symbols. That's why the first whoop moment. Let me repeat the first whoop moment to you again. The gift of a lie that you defend. But in order for you to defend something, you have to be, there must be a symbol. There must be a sign in order for you to say, oh shit, that's, I beg to differ. I don't agree. I disagree because of how many times you have been fed these particular signs and symbols. So you look in the Central and South America, you look in, tribal America. Let me look at this. Look at this. This is tribal Africa. You have the classical ages. You have pagan. Oh, hold on, no. Pagan Europe. Let me show you what pagan Europe. They say pagan Europe. Pagan Europe. See, with signs and symbols they created. They're orchestrators of creating an overlay masterclass of destroying the origins of signs and symbols that came from the ancient world. So everything that they did was remix ancient and primitive and actual signs and symbols to fit their algorithm. So they go to tribal Africa. They go to Southeast Asia. They go to oceanic traditions. They go to Central and South America. They go to native North Americas. The native North Americas. The Arctic traditions. And they go into also the actual Theoism and Hinduism. Let me show you. Let me show you. Let me show you where they carve everybody up into their specific what they exploit is signs and symbols. Let's go to Hinduism. Signs and symbols. Signs and symbols. Signs and symbols. Let's take it to Buddhism. Signs and symbols. Signs and symbols. Buddhism. Signs and symbols. We got more. We got more. Of course we do. Let's take it to Judaism. Oh, but boy. Look at the fabrications of these type of signs and repositioned and recreated symbols of even Judaism. Oh, all right. Okay. Then we got others. We got Christianity. All right. We got Christianity. Check it out. Christianity. So these are the definitions, so-called. Okay. Then you have what you would call Islam. Islam. Here we go. We ain't leaving nobody out. You got Islam. Okay. Islam. All right. Perpetuated symbols, by the way. Perpetuated. Freud and Jung. Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung. Hold on. Sign, symbols, and the mind. Check it out now. Definitions. Definitions. All right. We're going to get to some reading, but I have to help you. I have to have you understand how certain signs and symbols have to be palatable for lighter complected humans, or what you would call white, pale complected. So they have to create things that they feel like it's more archetypical, like this right here. Archetypes, right? Archetypes that they are even comfortable with, to even feel good about themselves, to learn something that is how they have to feel is ingestible. The process oriented psychology. See, it's a process. Everything is about a process to your psyche. This is how they create the encyclopedia and orchestrating the things is putting their mindset into your brain on display. The symbolic life path. Check this out now. What did I just finish telling you? Things that you associate with, you can want to be like. You will want to, you can identify with. You want to. It's something that means something to you. It becomes something of even a religious or a spiritual connotation to it because that's what you identify with. So that's why they would create a Hercules. That's why they would create their different mascots in their likenesses that would have no likenesses if it wasn't for the originals. You understand? But check it out. That's the symbolic life path. Then you have dream symbolism. I'm trying to walk you through it now. Dream symbolism. This is very heavy for you guys. I hope it's not heavy, but I'm trying to break it down to you as how it into your psyche so that you can dream about what you can be. But you have to see yourself into it. So this is it's very important for you to understand symbolism, psychology, and how you see yourself and view yourself. And how people have taken your stories, remixed them, and written them in your image. Do you understand? It's telling you right here, telling you. Dream symbolism. Then you got symbolism and synchronicity. So that means I need you to operate and I want your dreams to come true under this new world, this new banner, new symbols, new signs, new orchestrations. We're done with the old world. This is in with the new, which is predicated on the old, using older signs and symbols, remixing them and creating new symbols associated with them in order for you to understand. That's how these people what had to do in order to pick themselves up out of, put that in their brains as well. Symbolism in society, meaning and connection. It says it right here in the book of how we're supposed to identify with each other after the remix. After the remix. This is global, ladies and gentlemen. This ain't some shit I'm making up. I'm giving it to you right here in the books because some people don't understand when you speak facts to them, they don't understand how much people have taken and started putting things into practice. That's why you get symbols in society, meaning and connection, creating connections, creating these, connecting. So after the remixes, there goes the connection. Let me remix this into this. Why you get so many objections when I tell you I'm a Black Aboriginal American, an Indigenous American, because some of you have thought that we would never catch on that we didn't buy into your remix. I buy books just to understand where you start remixing stuff at. Roles in relationships. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here you go. As if I did not say it, this book is literally telling you right here, roles in relationships, who they wanted to play what role and who stood out so that they can play a specific role. You see Michael Jordan. See, this book is full of signs and symbols. So who says a book isn't worth 1,000 words? Look at the symbols. They're giving you the symbols. They're helping you identify what the symbols actually are, to how they want you and what they want you to think. Okay? Roles and relationships. But did you see look at the poor white family? See, look at this. You want to think, you look at this. Look. Poe is dunk, but still think they're better than M to the L. MJ. Taboos. See? Taboos. Created taboos. Look. That's how black folk supposed to live. And look at the angelic society of Europe and how that's how they get down. Creating imaging and imagery, creating taboos and imagery that are falsehoods and not even true. The word taboo comes from Polynesian taboo, which is a system prohibiting actions, the use of objects because they are considered either sacred or dangerous, unclean, or accursed. Taboos, many emerge from a moral conscience and and motivate individuals as a collective moral conscience, but they may also be used to maintain social hierarchies and order. You understand that? In animalist in nature based societies, the origins of taboos probably related to the likenesses and dislikes of various levels of spirits in relations to one another. So I'm trying to explain to you how they went into intricate detail in how to dictate and how to really turn the world upside down and intricately introduce new taboos. So this is where you got group identities, extremes. You see what I'm saying? These extremes. Taboos became the spawn of fundamental movements, prostitution, looseness, and all types of immortal aspects of what people associated the things with, but they were also hypocritical in their whole type of acts. Sounds familiar? MAGA, Grinder, Republican Party, breaks Grinder. Every time association, supposed to be talking about Christian values and things of this nature, but they're instead having sex fests that are entirely grotesque because they're same sex. The same things that they fight against is what they do. That's crazy. But hey, traditional storytelling is all they believe in. This is all traditional storytelling. That's all they do. Let me tell you the stories about when we rode in the Chanette, blah, 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 lies and lies on top of triple solitary lies, on top of triple lies and solitary lies. But all it is traditional storytelling. Has no truth behind it. It just becomes tradition. So it's just traditional storytelling at that point. And that's what these people have believed in order to completely be obscure from their actions so that they can live in La La Land continuously. That has come to a specific end, by the way. So, traditional storytelling. See all this sick romanticism that's just not even real. These people didn't even like each other. They just had to write the tales over that did not signify anything that came from their actual traditions because they have none. Okay, so when it comes to art, same thing. Does these sound familiar? Check it out. Art, same thing. The overwriting, the rewriting, the misinterpretations and new interpretations of what art actually is and what it's supposed to be in a real place and fabric of meaning, but they did not do this. They created advertising. So this is what they started doing with their BS. They started advertising lies and rescripting and rewriting, saying that they did things that they did not do, not writing the underbelly and the intricate details of it, but just advertising as if they did these things. So you have advertising, which is signs, these symbols, and science are very related, but simply because it has to do with the mind. Science has to do with the mind and how the mind conceives things and how it thinks. So symbols and science absolutely go together, especially when it comes to mind comp, the way a person thinks. So the European had to think itself out of me being the icon into itself being the icon. Symbols we live by today. As to why they take some new monument, act like it's something old and great, but they associate things back to Greece and things that they identify with, which are absolutely, wouldn't say meaningless, but not at the highest hierarchy of civilization, but just the way people perceive things. And that's a testament to everyday living, universal things, and how things happen and how we have these conundrums. I'm telling you, everyday living is how you start shit and how you change order, and you can turn the world upside down through what? time and putting a label on time and actually putting labels on people when you're actually labeling yourself as the hierarchy, meaning as you see this fellow here, you could depict something like this. In all actuality, you see how that's the only thing there to depict black. The only thing there to depict black. You see that? Oh no, but but is that just dwelling in symbols? Dwelling in symbols and dwelling in places and times that you don't even belong because you don't know of, but you would rather demon. Call it a demon because it's extremely enlightening. But you would ooze these type of herbs and spices and when it suits you, when you are in control of your consumption. Dwelling in symbols. All right. Okay. All right. The gateway, we're going to get to that another day because I had to give you what signs and symbols, and you ought to understand these are the signs of the time. So let's get to the next what moment. Oh, yeah, that was fun. I hope you enjoyed that with me. I did. I will give you more of that too. Just give me a second. Let me get to the next what moment, please. Hold on. When believers know they are wrong. Oh yeah, believers. When believers know they're wrong, they know that they're wrong because they know that there are so many things that predates what a believer thinks. Because a believer is not focused on knowing; they're focused on believing, improving. Their belief is substantial, which it is absolutely not. Because the whole term of belief means the gift of a lie. Straight up, it's just the gift of a lie. If it wasn't a gift of a lie, would you have these type of books that exist? That are real. They are true. They are things that people may not have heard of, but it doesn't negate the fact that it actually happened. And it doesn't negate the fact that it does have a whole hell of a lot of rewriting European history because European history wants to be exclusive with world history, which it can't be because it is fabrication of what history actually entails. And that's the facts. It's not deniable. People tell history from their perspective. They thought they won everything, but you can't keep thinking that you know everything when there are things that are discovered every day. And there are people like, Graham Hancock, and there are people like David Icke, and there are people, even the black greats, like, people that know how to put things together. Let me explain. Pilgrims to the land of bliss. Unlike ancient Babylonians, Egyptians had an optimistic belief in the afterlife and the land promising bliss awaiting them. Through the way that led there was full of hazards. To negotiate past these regions, one of these was called the Book of Traversing Eternity. Traversing Eternity. Small sheets and strips of papyri of this book were placed in the coffin with the deceased. The highly unusual practices was transmitted by Mexico. Priests delivered bunches of paper to the dead and telling them that this would enable them to survive the encounters of the underworld. The entrance of Egyptian underworld was the place where the sun went down and was in the mountain Manu in the far east, in the far west, reaching the place in the falcon head god Horus perches on the mountain, and is showed in this figure and it being worshipped by the Western goddess. The mountain is conceived as a symmetric, undulating mound. Mound. You dig? The first mound erected by the Olmecs in La Venta, near the southeast shores of the Gulf of Mexico, was just such a symmetrical, undulating mound. Here we go. Check it out. Right there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let me show you. See it for yourself. You too. Okay. See it for yourself. See it for yourself now. Okay. Since people don't, I just want to I want to show you now. Okay. The Jaguar mosaic pavements buried inside prove that it was conceived as a solar mound since the Jaguar Tepehola Tepaholti, Tepahotet was the god of the sun at night. This proves that the Levinta mound had the same form and the same measuring as in Egypt. It has been suggested by its excavators that it was intended to be a surrogate, a substitute for the mountain. This is perfectly in accord with my view that is was substituted for Manu and its prevalent Saint Martin, within whose crater the monumental sculpture has been discovered, seen in figures 5 at Levinta. The mound would have served as a new focal point for the ceremonial center. The scheme of the underworld, as preserved by the priest Cahokia in Mexico, occurs to the extraordinary degree with that of Egypt. Here are the comparisons in detail. The first stage of Mexico is the passage in the dead between the two mountains that confront each other. The first stage is Egypt is the mountain of two peaks that lies in the horizon. The second stage is Mexico, was guarded by a large snake. The second division of Egypt was guarded by the serpent in the form of Seti. The third stage of Mexico was held by an alligator, a crocodile guard in the seventh division of Egypt. The fourth stage of Mexican underworld was a tract of the desert called Eight Deserts. The fourth division of Egypt was also a desert region. It was called Seker and was supported by a sphinx. Here, as an Olmec sphinx, clearly it was a man head lion and was more in a serving as a support. I will show you right here in these figures. So black Americans aren't indigenous, huh? I beg to differ. I'm reading to you from the origins of the Americas, the Olmecs, the mound builders, the Mississippians, the origins. I hope you understand that. The sixth stage in Mexico was called Wind Like Obsidian Blades. The sixth division of Egypt was the city gate and sharp knives. What an obsidian blade, but a sharp knife. The eighth division was the aquatic zone, in which the inhabitants swarmed through the submerged and moved towards the primitive flood, such as realm in picture Mexico was painted from Teotihuacan before the 7th century. The deceased are swimming in and around the watery mountain, which could well be descriptive as the prime, primeval flood. In this paradise called Teolocan, the inmates can't drown, and to prove it, one figure is actually rescuing another. And so you have seen it almost in every stage. Underworld, precious parallels and identical sequences. Check it out, right up here at the top. They didn't drown. They didn't drown. They did not drown. So when you have being able to navigate like that, you have to understand how we have always been the best motorists and navigators because we have always had connections right here in the United States. We have always been us. We have always known these things. Look at this. Look at this. We look at these records that we kept of where to go. All over this country, our country. Just a green book. All over this country. Right here. So navigation has never been a problem for us. And I know it's coming out right now that you understand the lady, the black lady that had been in GPS. Y'all go look it up. Look it up for yourself. I know you know who. I know you're gonna know who she is. Look it up on GPS. Look it up. The first black lady that invented GPS. But also, please mention the Green Book and check it out. This how we need to get back to get down like this. You know what I'm saying? This was back in the day. We were the best orchestrators on the planet. Check this out, y'all. Check it out. Check it out. Now this is by the numbers. Now this took love, appreciation, care, you know, from Canton to Cincinnati, the Miniature Grill, Cleveland, Columbus, Dayton, Lima. I mean, Pierre, Six Falls, Tennessee, Bristol, Chattanooga. Now we was not foundational or we was not aboriginals here. How can you get any? How can you do this? How could you do this? How could you make these type of connections? How did you know? How would we know who and why and what we were and how connected we actually were? How much unity we had always have had. But we always have had snakes too. Understand that. Always have had snakes. But check this out, man. Let me keep on naming some names. We got Texas, Amarillo, Austin, um, Beaumont, Corpus Christi, Corsicana, Dallas, El Paso, Fort Worth. This is all black towns now. Galveston, Houston, Marshall, Midland, Paris, Pittsburgh, San Antonio, Tyler, Texarkana, Waco. Oh man, you talking about it even in Utah? We got Utah on the map. Salt Lake City. We got who's black up there? We got Vermont, Burlington, Manchester, Rutland. We got Virginia, Albington, Alexandra, um, Burkrock Beach, Burke Row Beach. Oh man, check this out, man. We got the beach here. We got Danville. You know what I'm saying? Farmington, Fredericksburg, Hampton, of course, all the seven cities. Lynchburg, Lee Ray, Natural Bridge, Newport News, of course, Norfolk, straight up like that. And then you know what I'm saying? You got Man, we had everything covered. Lockdown, showing lodging, places to eat from even Wyoming, Casper and Cheyenne and Rawlins, Yellowfront. You understand? I mean, West Virginia, we got Berkeley, we got Bluefield, Charleston, Huntington, Parksburg, Welch, Wheeling, and Washington. We got Everett and Seattle, Tacoma, Yakima. So we're talking about supremely connected Tennessee. Of course, we got Bristol, Chattanooga, Clarksville, Knoxville, Lexington, Memphis, Mumfordburg, Nashville. You know what I'm saying? All of the beautiful, wonderful black towns. We even got Rhode Island, Newport News, and Providence. You got South Carolina with Aiken, Beaufort, and Charleston, Columbia. Sherwood, Florence, Georgetown, Greenville, Mullins, Orangeburg, Spartanburg, Sumter, you know what I'm saying? The chapters. People where we know we can get things done and have services for because we love and service each other. That is very extremely powerful and pivotal to how we was getting down and how we have always been getting down. But what got us away from that, now what should be making us better is right here on this internet, how everybody who's listening should be subscribing to the Willis Podcast on YouTube, all my platforms that deal with each other. Let's have shows together. Let's talk about how we've done it before and why we still able to do that because we even got these type of things that we created. The Paris maps is an excellent and important scholarship. McIntosh and commended the breadth and discipline and research that reflected the well-written book. So we're talking about things that have been here from the old that were had to be brought back in the new and actually to even be discovered. So they would use certain things that would benefit them, but not actually participate in giving credit to who were the orchestrators, also the architects, the inventors, and the greatest, which is us. So, uh, let's see here. Yeah, I can see from here, but I need it's a book I want to get from on the shelf. Where are you, buddy? There is it down here. Let me see. Where's the book I'm looking for? I'll get back to you. All right, right here. I was looking for National and the Nationality and the Law Foundation of Black Americans thing. This Clive Winters, some work we should get back to as well. I'm gonna play some music because I gotta take a bathroom break. I'll be right back with y'all. I'm not done. I'm not done fucking with y'all yet, man. So let me play a little music. I'll be right back. You know what I'm saying? Just give me a second. Play something nice for you. It'll take me about a couple of minutes to take a piss. And I'll be back with everybody. You understand? Okay, all right. All right. Be right back. Yeah. I'm back. All right. Okay. I'm looking for something. I'm looking for something. Let me turn it down a little bit. Yeah, I'm back, but I'm looking for something. Oh yeah. And I know what I'm looking for. I just gotta find it. Where did I put that damn case? Oh, I gotta find it now. I found it. Yep. Yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, I got it. Yeah, George Orwell, my George Orwell series. Yeah, let me turn this down a little bit. Yeah, here we go. We gonna cook now. Woo! Hell yeah. So 1984. I'm sure you're familiar with this one. Ah, come on. Yeah, come on, Orwell. Yep, let me go and get to it. What I like, what I need. All right. Okay. All right. Are you familiar with this book, 1984? You understand? This is still a super classic. Right here, George Orwell, 1984. Let's get into this. Let me tell you what this is about, too. This is a masterpiece. 1984. So the publisher's notes, 1984 is an anticipated utopian novel. Orwell published in 1949. In ranking with the most famous cited dystopian literature, along with Aldous Huxley, A Brave New World, and Ray Bradbury, Fahrenheit 451. The theme tells a highly and grossly tale of a Winston Smith and his degraded by the totalitarian state in which he lives. So revolutionary and politically dangerous, 1984 was once, that is, was banned by many libraries in various countries, even besides those countries controlling by totalitarian regimes. Orwell's work was chosen by Times Magazine as one of the 100 best English language novels from the year 1923 onward. Now, you know that's 103 years. Wilcox is bringing the first classic title in 1958. Now thrust of our endeavors in the index of this list and presents more of the treasures of our readers at most affordable prices, because it used to be very expensive. Oh yeah, very. So down with Big Brother. So check this out, y'all. Let me show y'all how this really went down and give you a little bit more tidbits of how this used to go down, man. So check this out. Just follow me here. Kind of place yourself in a moment of time of where we are right now. At a moment, an entire group of people broke into a deep, slow, rhythmic chant. Over and over, very slowly, with a long pause between the beat and a second and heavy, murmurous sound, somehow curiously savage in the background of which one seemed. Let me make sure my volume is on. Oh man, I wanted to make sure that was on. Hold on. I think it is. Oh, shucks. None. I hope it was, though. I hope my volume was on, because I've been going on a long time. But here we go. At least I am. At least I know I'm going on TikTok. So if I wasn't on, I hope I'm on now. Good God Almighty. That's the one thing about going on my computer. That's why I don't like about it, because of the fact that, yeah, damn, the volume. I be missing that step sometimes. But check it out, man. Check it out. For perhaps much as 30 seconds is kept up by the refraining that was often heard. Monuments overwhelming, emotion partying a sort of hymn in a window of majesty, a big brother, but still more is just an act of self-hypnosis. A deliberate drowning of consciousness by means of rhythmic noise. Winston entrailed, seeming that a growing crowd of the 2 minutes hate he could not help sharing, but the general in the 2 minutes, but delirium, but the subhuman chant, always filled him with horror. Of course, he chanted with the rest. It was impossible to do otherwise. To dismissible your feelings and to control your face and to do what everyone else is doing was instinctive reaction. But there was a space of couple of seconds during in which he expressed his eyes might conceivably have betrayed him. And it was exact at the moment a significant thing happened. If indeed it did happen. Momentarily, he caught O'Brien's eye. O'Brien had stood up and he'd taken off his spectacles, and it was often resettling them on the nose of a characteristic gesture, but there was a fraction of a second that their eyes had met, and for as long as they had took for Winston knew, yes, he knew, and O'Brien was thinking the same thing to himself. His unmistakable measure had passed. It was a thought that 2 minds had opened at the same thought, and flowing from one into the other, thought and through their eyes, the pupils, their eyes, the gateways to the soul, their eyes. I am with you, O'Brien seemed to be saying. I knew precisely what you were feeling, and I knew all about the contempt, you hatred, your disgust. But don't worry, I am on your side. And then the flash of intelligence was gone. O'Brien's face was as inscrutable as everybody else's. So he fixed his mind back into that shit like, I want to be a part. Don't expose me, goddamn. But hold on. That was all. and it was already uncertain where it had happened. Such incidents had a new sequel. All they did was to keep alive in him the belief or hope that other besides him were his enemies of the party. Perhaps the rumors of vast underground conspiracies were true after all. Perhaps the Brotherhood already existed. It was impossible, in spite the endless arrest of confusion and executions, to be sure that the Brotherhood was not simply a myth. Someday he believed in it, some days not. There was no evidence, only fleeting glimpses that might meant something or nothing, snatches overhead, conversation, faint scribbles in lavatory walls. Once, even when two strangers met, a small movement in the hands in which had looked as a thought that might be a signal of recognition. It was all guesswork. Very likely that he imagined everything. He had gone back into the cubicle with looking into O'Brien again, and the idea following up with momentary contact, heart and cross in his mind. It would have been inconceivably dangerous, even if he had known how to set about doing it. For a second, 2 seconds, that had exchanged an equivocal glance. That was an end of the story. That was the end of the story. Yeah, I know, but your ass better know too, because I will never go your way with that. So you are, he shut that shit down. Yeah, I know, but don't, hey. Y'all gotta check that book out, man. There's so many people in the world that operate just like that. But let me get to the next moment for y'all, please. America has been caught up. No, there's no stock in lying. But see, the thing is, some people would say, I beg to differ. There's a great deal of stock in lying, because if you don't lie, sometimes it'll cost you your life. That's a thought. Now that's a thought, but what if lying costs you your life? So then some people say, well, shit, that's why I lie, because hell, I don't want to get taken out over no bullshit like, what, telling the truth? Man, you shouldn't even be, I can't tell nobody what they are caught up in. Some people are born in this shit that they can't even help. I don't know, but all I'm saying is, if you live your life a certain specific kind of way, there's no reason why you should be caught up in certain specific kind of lies, but that's not for me to say, because I'm not into those objectable spaces. But now you understand why people do some of the shit that they do. Can they help it? Is it up to them? Do you maintain your riches? Do you maintain everything that you got? Do you succumb somehow? Is it plausible? Is it going to happen in some way, shape, or facet? Possibly. Could it be? Oh man, you never know. So who knows how many lies some people actually hold simply because it can cost them their life. Let me get to the next moment. So, America has been caught up in its lies. America has truly been caught up in all of its specific lies, simply because the lies have already been told upon from a great deal of time ago. That's why I have such a collection of books, and also a collection of ideological methodologies, not myths, but actual truths that predate and outweigh anything that's ancient Greece. And that's the problem with the European. The European brought its Eastern apparatus ideology into the West, recreating and rewriting the history of the West simply because of the Aboriginal class here in the Americas. Do you understand? The First World War of Wars. First World War of Wars. First World War of Wars was 1492. It took 7 nations to be our. It took 283 years plus and still counting. And we still haven't been whooped yet. You violated every treaty. You lied about everything. You told every distorted lie. You were told that you can do anything to us and with us. And then the British even told us to keep fighting you because of how vile and how much vitriol you actually had. But 1492, that was the First World War. And it lasted into 1775. The amalgamation was over. The ethnogenesis had already taken place. the fighting and the slavery and the abducting have been done, still have been doing. The replacing and planting and replacing of peoples have been done. The fighting, the wars, the justice and injustice had already taken place. But that war was still on our asses because we went straight into a place of captivity for quite some time. It was called slavery. That wasn't ships that crossed the Atlantic. Those were ships that were being swapped apart right here in the North American continent. Yeah. We're the most seafaring. Why do you think they cut up all of our highways, which were the seas, which were the rivers, the canals, the Dragon Canoe Clan, things like that, you know? We had clans, we had specialists, the carpenters, the builders. You exploited us. You exploited our skill sets. You exploited everything about America. That's why you jumped on top so quick, because the builders was already here. The master class was already here. And you had your master lying ass story to combat your presence. It was called Manifest Destiny, as well as the Bible, as well as a whole lot of other intricate things that in other peoples, the Spanish, the Siberians, the French, the Dutch, South Americans, even the Algerians, even people that hated that wanted to annihilate the copper color race that was here and already had been here. That's why we couldn't be defeated, so we were reclassified, renamed, and murdered on paper. Yeah, that's the First World War. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever let that be mistaken for you. That was the unequivocal First World War. In the Second World War, which was if you think about the dates of 1492, but if you ever look up the Montfort Point Black Marines, that was 1942. You see how numbers have a way of just readdressing themselves, as well as spirits, as well as who we are, as well as the real defenders of our nation. Aboriginals, Seminoles. From maroon to marine. Why do you think the maroon flag, the maroon and gold, is the Marine Corps chosen colors? The maroon is because of the skill sets, land and sea. The Aboriginals, we taught them how to fight. We taught how to be the absolute form of a devil dog. The real true fighter, the Aboriginal, the maroon. So even the United States Marine Corps that was formed in 1775, which is a year older than this country, 1776. United States Marine Corps came from, its roots is the Aboriginal Maroons. The Aboriginal Maroons. The Seminoles. So the Marines were born out of the respect and also love, appreciation, and admiration for the ass-kicking Seminoles. That's when the U.S. lost the American War. And that's for the books. That's for sure. That's where you took a loss. You took your ass. You took a L. You didn't win. As a matter of fact, that wasn't the only motherfucking thing. You ain't win nothing. Never won a war. You don't win those. That's what we do. You don't win those. We win those. You don't do that. That's what you write in your books. You write that in your mind. You write that. That's how you think. You write like you've done this. You have not done any of this. This is done by the Uno, the true Aboriginal. I wish y'all get up off us like that. I wish you get up off us like that. Y'all already know who the true Aboriginal really is. Look like this. True phenotype. True phenotypical. You have to understand those things. You really have to understand those things. You really got to come up off of it, because a lot of people are telling you fairy tales. And America has never told you less than a fairy tale than they tell you now to this very day. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share, like, and put people on to the Will Is Podcast. Don't forget to go to the website, thewillispodcast.com. Thewillispodcast.com. Go on YouTube, subscribe to the Will Is Podcast. Y'all know what it is. Let me get the next what moment for you, please. get to the next what moment. Let's get to the next what moment. All right. Let me see. I'm trying to get there. Okay. When policy that you love turn on you as a weapon. See, America made a lot of policy. You know, a lot of policy was not actually backwards compatible, but now you understand it is backwards compatible because they're applying the same principles that were applicable to only Black Americans and some browns, depending on how dark you were. It was only applicable to some to get this type of offer treated, but now to take down and unalive citizens of this country, you know, people are very unrest. Well, I'm asking you and I'm explaining and I'm telling you, due to books like this, due to the telling, the foretelling, if you even wanted to go to the Bible, the basic instruction before leaving earth, go to that and go to Revelation. It will tell you all that you need to know about what today's times are. See, this the changing of an era. We're leaving Pisces. We are already in Aquarius. So we're just starting to pick up. Things are starting to transform. There's going to be a transfer of a lot of things when it comes to wealth, when it comes to identity, when it comes to a whole lot of nuances that will favor the Black Aboriginal Americans, as well as just people of just, people that have done the world justice, people that have been just, people that have understood one thing. Just because the commoners do it doesn't make me have to fall into those categorical equations in order to treat people bad or ugly and treat them as they are outside of an equation when we all know there was a fabrication. That's the fallacy and the problem intricately within itself as a whole. And that's just how it goes. And everybody should possibly know. You know, we got a lot of cosplaying, ridiculous, sad situations going on simply because, you know, life is meant to be lived, but people want to take any little thing to put themselves above someone else instead of using what they got within and internally to bring the best of themselves out. That's a way more equitable equation that you would want to utilize as a legacy token. People that you know, people that you will meet, people that you can meet that may not look like you, but may love you and have what's best for you at heart. So we're a whole world out here, but we're just moving differently. Nobody should have to move and deal with people that wants to perpetuate their stupidity or dumb down their culture or destroy them from within. Always think about how you feel about yourself first and the message that you want to put out in the world and how you want to display yourself. Think about that first before you go out here yapping and trapping. Hey, I'm gonna get off on YouTube in a minute, but I got a few more whip moments for you guys. Next whip moment. Time to admit the U.S. lied to you. Oh yeah, I know a lot of y'all really are starting to understand how the U.S. did tell you lies about the internal class of people, lies about your countries, the pivotal equations that took you out of yourself into a whole nother kind of self. But that's your fault because you bought into it. But you know what? Sometimes you got to think about it. The U.S. put out propaganda because it put out things that favor the dominant society. So that's not necessarily a lie. That's just how you wanted to associate yourself with the dominant society. So you got just what you got. But when people told you the truth, you chose to choose what you wanted to believe. That belief cost your ass, and it's still costing you right now. So I'm not gonna feel sorry for you. I would ask and hope that you make better choices. You should make better choices for yourself first and foremost, because nobody persuaded you to put yourself in such a compromising situation that you hated the fact that you did what you did to yourself. And that's sad on your part. You can't blame nobody for that. Let me get to the next book moment. We won't spend too much time on that trying to aggravate anyone. But time to admit the U.S. It's time to admit the U.S. does send a false perception out to the world about everything. How do they do that? Especially entertainment. Entertainment is, you know, back in the 2000s and back in the height of cultural appropriation with movies like Honey, movies like, Sinbad making movies with whatever. Then you got Will Ferrell with his, which Will Ferrell's pretty cool. I like Will Ferrell. He's pretty original with his content too, but he's just funny. But I will say there was a lot of cultural appropriation, white movies, Malibu, some type of with the, and these movies were selling out, and they was making money on the back of a real MC like Eminem. He was white, but he was in the hip hop culture. But he was a real MC, but they was making money off those actual Marshall Mathers looking type of, and just picking anybody. I think Jamie, he carved out his way. Jamie Fallon or some shit. All of them got in on that cultural appropriation. Adam Sandler, all those crews, and then you got Ben Stiller that even admitted all Jewish guys want to be black, and I'm like, yeah, I can admit, I can see that. I understand. I mean, you think about the term Jewish, you think about a Jew, but they call themselves Jewish, blackish, you know what I'm saying? They don't speak Hebrew, they speak Yiddish, but you know what I'm saying? So it's an adoption, is what I'm trying to explain to you. Just like Siberians adopted American Indians, a whole culture. Yes, you did. Yeah, you put your little stuff in there too. This is bones in your nose, all those. Oh shit. We was fly. Always been fly. Now the tassels, that's us. Cowboys, Indians, all black Americans. We the Cowboys and the Indians. So you get John Wayne, you get Daniel Boone, you get all these different characters that was really predicated upon John Horse and Bass Reeves. Real Lone Rangers, real defenders, real statesmen and lawmen, the actual real American heroes that bear the face in Hollywood as the Lone Ranger. John Wayne, aren't you John Wayne? No. Fabrications only exist on the big screen. And that's where European Americans really found their upheaval when we saved them and they kicked us out of the box office because blaxploitation television, blaxploitation movies was, that was everything. Yeah, that was that saved Hollywood, just like Blade saved Marvel Comics. So they always catapult off of everything that has to do with black. Every single Marvel character that you see that Stan Lee even created. Oh yeah, I got all the books back here. They all back here. I'm gonna show it to you sometimes too. They all back here. Yeah, I got all kind of books. I love books because books are, people really do have to start with the origins of their operating fabrications. When you start with the origins of it all, people have to give up the truth. You got to tell the truth. So anyway, let me turn my music down a little bit. I'm gonna take some more people in. Take some calls on TikTok. See what's happening for a little bit. I'll be going a little bit. What's going on? See who we got in here. Who's tuning into the Wheelers Podcast? What's up, Albert? What's going on with you? What's happening?
Shit, man, just vibing.
You tuned in? You tuned in?
Yeah, I'm locked in right now, I'm just vibing, chilling.
Is this my bro?
Birthday wishes from yesterday, so I gotta respond back to some people.
All right, well, happy birthday, young fella. Happy birthday.
Appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, so we just on the Wheelers Podcast. We the Cost of Believing show, just letting people know, be careful what you believe in, be careful what you take into your internal self, simply because it's extremely important, but you also can be very fragile.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So be careful about the music you listen to, the megahertz that you take in, especially if you're trying to evolve, you're trying to go somewhere, you're trying to create. Use specific energies to create and be, kind of elevate with. You know what I'm saying? That way you can open it up and you can fulfill your space properly with the right energy instead of uh, using fillers that you just trying to vibe with. But you want the real energy, you got to tune in with the proper frequencies. You dig what I'm saying? For sure. For sure. So yeah, man. I'm about to wrap it up. No, I ain't gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna let it play out. I think my mic is doing good. It can hear everybody. So what's going on with you, young fella? I'm about to close the show down for real tonight. I got some shit to do, but what you want to rap? What you want to rap about?
Say it one more time for me. I'm so sorry.
No, I say what you want to rap about.
Rap? I don't really rap.
No, I'm talking about what you.
Oh, wrap it up about?
Yeah.
I mean, shoot. You know what? I'm a real life talker, so I like to talk a lot. So let's see. Let's talk about. Yeah, you put me on the spot too. Let's talk about new generation versus old generation.
Okay. Well, you wouldn't have no new generation if you didn't have the old generation.
I mean, yeah, that's true. That's true. How do you feel about this next generation? Like, what is it? What is it? I mean, Gen Z, I don't know, man. I don't know that Gen Z, that's all that.
I'm Gen X, but
Okay, so you're Gen X.
I'm Gen X.
I'm a 2000 baby.
Okay, so you like I don't know, millennial,
Millennial, something like that.
something like that. So I got faith in y'all, man. I think the best of y'all actually. I think I would call y'all the no tech shit generation. Like Generation X set it off for y'all pretty good. So you know what I'm saying? We was really the real no shit takers because we kind of like broke out of that mental space that was clouding the space of the previous generation. It was the boomers and that generation. Them they were very I think that generation was very childlike, and I think we kind of grew up into our own, which was started because babies was making babies. Like Mike Epps, especially, was talking about babies making babies, and he couldn't be a good father. But I think when parents grow up with their children, and at least they're growing in forward motion, I think that had a lot to do with the millennials being more of a independent generation. Like y'all, I mean, some people call y'all lazy. I beg to differ. I say y'all just don't. You refuse to do, uncalculated work. I think that's a plus. I don't think that's a negative.
Yeah, I feel you.
I think I just think I look at us as a progression, and I don't look at us as far as a versa. I would rather contribute to you so you can go further, vice take from you or prohibit you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a big difference. And you know what I'm saying? One, compare generations when the older generation should be contributing to you, making sure you push the culture forward in a positive light, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
I think our generation, I'm not gonna lie, I do agree with you, but at the same time, I disagree with our generation being not lazy. I think my generation is lazy. I feel like
That's up for you to say. I'm not gonna judge you like that, but I'll let you talk on your generation.
I think we are lazy. I think we do everything being easy for us, coming to us. Before you had to work for it. You had to work for your family. So your family could meet, days in and everything. Now it's just you can get online and do anything, and you either become famous or you get some type of clout. Make money that way, like all types of shit like that. Like now, like you can do any of that. You don't gotta get out your house. You don't gotta do none of what you guys had to do back in the day. Like what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people like even now, like people afraid to even like in person. People are afraid to like talk to each other. Everybody used to doing this, texting. Before, like I'm not gonna lie, like growing up, I grew up with my grandmother. Growing up, it was no phones. I didn't even get my first phone until I was like 16, 17.
Okay.
It was just mainly go outside, go to the park, go mow a lawn, go do something. It's none of that now. I don't see nobody. Like I swear, like bro, like now, like you do not see kids wanting to go like mow some lawns or shovel some snow. There's none of that. It's just like pure laziness.
Wow. You know, that's
So,
I
you know,
mean,
that's me.
got you. I got you. Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Yeah. I feel you from that point because I mean that means you grew up like I grew up. I used to cut grass. I repaired furniture. I trimmed hedges. You know, I raked leaves. I was always up for the money. You know what I'm saying? I was going to make the money. You know what I'm saying? I was, but that's because it was the opportunity to make it. So, and even in my time, there were kids not doing what I was doing. That just was
Exactly.
going down. So, I went in the Marine Corps when I was 17. So
Okay.
I was a sergeant by the age of 21. So I've always, been a mover. You know what I'm saying? I've always been someone that wanted to be successful and very crafty and masterful at whatever the hell I was doing. I wanted to master what I was doing too at
Yeah.
least give myself a chance to get more opportunities. So
Yeah.
I was opportunistic by merit. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But some people are opportunistic by I would call it entitlement.
That's it. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. I get what you mean by that.
So I never had the well I'm not gonna say that. I've always been known to give myself opportunities simply because of how I looked, who I was, how I presented myself with dignity, respect, and know-how. You know what I'm saying? And also a little humility and knowing how to really self-govern. So
Yeah.
whatever I went into, I had enough confidence to walk into it, knowing that whatever I'm doing, I'm going to be able to get and master simply because I have already done that with myself at
Yeah.
that particular point in time. So it's always you can do anything you want to do, but you got to self-develop. And I think a lot of people, uh, I won't say that spending the time that people have with themselves doesn't develop, but I think interaction and sociology and knowing what you're made of has a lot to do with the lack of development. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think people do need to get out more from a non-social perspective, but more so of a building perspective in order to, at least focus on something that can better the community, better themselves, and
Exactly.
set those proper examples. So that's how you feel about that?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
I'm just tired of like just seeing the same patterns. Everything just it gets to a point. It's like, bro, like I don't even know how to put it. Like it gets to a point. It's like, bro, like the world is never gonna get better. Nothing gonna ever get better. Nothing ever gonna change unless you looking for a change. You know
Well,
what I
you got
mean?
to participate. You have to participate in the
Yeah,
change.
I always do.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hell
So,
yeah.
but the thing is also, always implementing what you've learned, always developing and always implementing at the same time. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Uh,
Exactly. Yeah.
repetition, man, repetition, doing right and doing the right thing and actually putting your time and energy and effort into something that takes time, energy, and effort. So, it's doing the right
Yeah.
thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, people pick up on whatever they see. Like you are saying the right thing. Yeah, people do start picking up on whatever they see. That's what I'm gonna do. I just had a kid, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I mean,
Yeah.
one thing he gonna know is that staying inside stuff and being on the technology and all that. That's not gonna be. I'm not gonna say that's not gonna be a thing around my house, but I feel like it's something that's gonna have to be earned. Like I'm not trying to sound like stuck up or nothing, but that's something I feel like it has to be earned. Like like you got to do something in order to get that type of. Because I don't want my kid to be one of them iPad kids or one of them kids who stay on their phone or on the game. Like, I don't need any of that because it's like you said, you gotta make a change, man.
Well, the thing
I
is,
just
go ahead. You got it. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. My bad. My bad.
No, it's all good. But the thing is, my child, she what you would call a silver spoon, but she likes to mix it up. She been riding bikes since she was 2,
Thank you for sure.
playing basketball. You know what I'm saying? She's always been an active kid, but she's extremely smart too, simply because she loves learning. She loves You know, I got a house full of books. I got a look. You check this. I got a house full of books now, everywhere.
See, that's
You see what I'm saying?
exactly how my grandmother's house is. Yeah, the books everywhere.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I got education that goes around, and it, so she gravitates to that type of environment. That's who she is too. So it's kind of easy for me to appeal to her, simply because you know that's how she grows up. That's what she's around. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, I'm about to get up out of here, my brother.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yes,
I'm gonna
sir.
do the same thing.
All right.
I'm gonna go get some food and shit.
Yeah, man.
But it was nice meeting you, all right?
Likewise, they check out the wheellesspodcast.com. Check me out on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. Check out some shows. I got a lot of knowledge I give out, man. I'll holler at you. Peace.
All right, man. I'll see you.
For sure. All right. YouTube, and TikTok. What's happening, man? We have had a hell of a night, a hell of a run with each other tonight. I'm grateful to y'all. We've had a guest. I don't think I want to do another guest. I'm a little tired. It's time for me to get ready for my day tomorrow. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And damn, did I have another whip woman? Let me see if I owed you another whip woman. I think I did. Yep. I did. But I'm going to tell you something. Black Americans have always known everything that I've expressed to you tonight. Black Americans have always known. Indigenous Americans, Indigenous Black Americans, Foundation of Black Americans, we have always known because we have always had these intricacies. We've always had that highway. We've always had ways to communicate, especially with the invention of Granville T. Woods, from the telegraph to the telephone, which they give it to Alexander Graham Bell. But we already know about the Baby Bells and how the Baby Bells was broke up. Southern Bell became the Baby Bells to keep the monopoly. AT&T had to break it up, so then Verizon had to come in with their lines from Railway. You know what I'm saying? They had to create T-Mobile. They had to create these different companies because AT&T actually ran and owned, had owned at one point every single rail. I went to basic classes. I'm still in telecommunications this very day. But these are the absolute history. This is absolute history that you have to learn and know about, even understanding how the Americas have been so great and who was the progenitors of the greatness, because we invented everything. Yeah, everything. I'm going to show you that book. Y'all check out my previous shows. I do share that book a lot, but I'm also going to go in more detail about the inventions, from the first people in air to the first cars, to the first computer chips, to the first water gun, first computers, GPS, space, refrigeration, sculpturing, every single solitary fabric of mathematics and science. We're stardust. You understand? Dig this. I love you guys. I appreciate you. But I'm not here to fabricate and lie to you. This is the Wheelers Podcast, and that's the show tonight. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you so much. I'm coming back at y'all again tomorrow night, too. We got a good show for you tomorrow night. Hope y'all tune in. Thank you. We love you. This is Wheelers Podcast. We appreciate you so much, man. But anyway, that's the show tonight. And remember, the wheel is yours. Don't ever forget that. Stay up on that, because it belongs to you. We'll holler at you guys. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Peace. All right. Take care. Peace. We out of here.